following is a podcast.
That is spoiler-free. Also, I'm Wish.
Paul?
I'm Andrew.
So this is spoiler-free, but we will get our quick little review out of the way for Star Trek Beyond. It was very good. Easily the best out of these new ones they've made. I haven't seen any older ones, so I can't compare it to that, but it was by far the best one they've done. I think, Andrew, you said you saw a review that said it was basically like a two-parter for the show, which sums it up almost perfectly.
Yeah, but I didn't see the show.
Right, but I'm just saying you saw a review, and I actually think that's spot on. Like, it really does feel like a two-parter, and it does feel like the show. Like, they're actually doing Star Trek stuff. Instead of having things happen to them, they go out and find stuff.
It's kind of like a classic feeling, you know?
Yeah, it definitely gets closer to the roots of the shows, which probably because Simon Pegg wrote it, who's a big fan of the actual Star Trek show, so I'm sure the fact that he was the head writer on that, obviously going through rewrites, whatever, really helps with it actually feeling like a good, not just that it's a good movie or a fun movie, but it's actually like a good Star Trek movie. So that's out of the way, totally spoiler-free. We're going to talk about Pokémon GO now, because that's the big thing that's happening. And have you guys been having any trouble with the servers recently? I've been lucky where it's been working pretty much every time I try to use it the last couple days.
I haven't had troubles in quite some time.
I haven't been playing, so...
Yeah.
That seems to be one of the big issues I had when it first came out, is they didn't have enough servers, and then they just kept expanding it to more and more countries, and didn't stop.
The thing I hate the most about pretty much any game, and they have server issues, their excuse is, well, we didn't think the game would be this big.
Oh, yeah. Seriously? It's
game...
Pokemon GO. It's been hyped up for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of... It's true, right? If they thought it would be bigger, they'd have more servers.
No, it's never that. That's always their cop-out excuse. The problem is, and this happens with a lot of games on launch, but I think Pokemon GO made it way more evident because it was free. So anybody that had like an iPhone or an Android or anything like that, which is a shit ton of people, had access to it. Whereas, a game you have to pay money for.
On a Windows phone.
Who has a Windows phone? Anyways.
Last job, half the people there had Windows phones.
At where?
My last job at AT&T.
Oh, well, that's stupid. Anyways, stop it. It's always going to be more popular when it first comes out. Like, that's their big push, is that first day. I mean, more people play a game when it comes out on Tuesday than at any other time. So they're never going to have enough servers because it's going to cost them money to then keep those. Now, I don't know with renting servers why they just don't go, hey, Amazon, can we rent some of your servers for, like...
6 months.
Not even that,
yeah.
Like a month. And then, okay, and then that way they have them when there's the big initial push, and then as fewer people are playing the game, they don't have the servers anymore. So I was kind of, especially with Microsoft's Azure servers, I was kind of hoping this wouldn't be an issue. Halo 5 functioned fine, but I'm sure they probably took off every other game on Xbox Live when that launched to make sure it worked fine, because of the debacle that was the Master Chief Collection when it comes to playing online. But I was really hoping that would kind of be the end of it. Titanfall worked flawlessly from the beginning, so that's great too. I haven't played any other online games really aside from those two, like at their initial launch. Right, so I don't know if there are any kind of server issues. ESO seems to be doing fine. Again, we didn't play that at launch. We got that around early in November, middle of November. So it was kind of gone its initial way. But that functions fine. They do server maintenance a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I know WoW
yeah,
was...
they did shut them down quite often. Like,
and they still
once
do.
Once a week or...
Easily one, at least twice. I see, because I, like, follow them just to see if there's any announcements. And it's at least 2 times the last 5 days they've turned them off. Which, I mean, I guess that's fine. The servers are stable and they're up and they're not off long. And, like, when they do the U.S. server, it's, like, fucking 3 o'clock in the morning when there's probably, like, 3 people playing. So that's a good time to do it. Yeah. But they seem to take it off a lot, but that's worked fine. So I'm hoping we're starting to get in this era of, at least when it comes to server stability, we've kind of solved the issue, and playing a game on launch day is fine. But it's kind of opened up a new issue where games launch and they don't really work no matter what. I mean, Unity, whatever, they've all had issues at launch. That Batman game, Batman Arkham Knight on PC, was terrible. So it's like a new issue now. But going back to Pokemon GO, now it seems to be working fine. Is this a game that people are going to continuously play for months and a year, 2 years, or is this one of those, oh my god, it's something I've always wanted and it's cool for like a month and then that's it?
I don't know. I'm going to keep
I
playing
think it's more of a fad.
I think it's going to start to die out, but then
play it anyway.
People are going to get excited again, even if they don't pick it up for 6 months. Let's say they add the second generation in a year and a half or something. They're going to pick it back up for another few months before they drop it again. But
yep, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to wait until the population stabilizes. Go, hey, guess what? Gen 2 is going to come out. Maybe announce it like 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Get people hype. Then you get more people playing. Because I do think a lot of it's like, for me, it's cool. I'm going to keep playing it, as much as I can. It's going to suck in the winter because I can't really go for walks in the winter.
But then maybe there'll be lots of Delibirds floating around. Oh, maybe. That's second gen. Never mind.
Yeah.
Lots of seals.
Yeah.
I saw this thing they released in Japan, and apparently I'm going to have to try some of these tricks. Like, someone took a little model train and just set their phone on it, and it goes around the track, and that counts as, like, distance traveled.
Or they set it on their turntable.
Yeah. So I'll have to try, see if I can find something like that, at least in the winter, because that's going to suck to... I mean, you can't really... Yeah, you can't walk.
Like, I tried keeping it on at work in that low power mode, where the screen's still on, it's just almost black. And my phone, within an hour...
Oh,
it went down like 35% or more, and it got hot because it was in my pocket.
Yeah, it absolutely pisses away battery. And I think that's because it's all the data it's getting. Even the icons, like the Pokeball icon, that's not stored on your phone. That has to be downloaded. So not only were they having server issues, they decided to put more stress on their servers for no reason. I don't know. You guys do a little bit more with computers than I do. Is there any reason to not have something like that stored on the client? Like, imagine if you went to play WoW.
Well, if you wanted to change it, then you'd only have to update your server data. You wouldn't have to push an update to the app.
It's a Pokeball. It's been the same for like 20 years.
Could you...
It's not changing ever.
Maybe they'll add like a little shine effect or something. I don't know.
It's not changing ever.
Is it like the quantity of an item? If they disconnect it from the internet, could they somehow keep them? Or I don't know. I guess
no, it's not even the quantity. It's literally the picture of the Pokeball.
Are they doing it to save battery? But it seems
no, because you got to download.
You'd be communicating with the server even more. So you
yes, yeah, exactly.
Probably using just the same battery. Or more battery.
You're probably saving like 2 kilobytes of space on your phone. The app's not that big. So I don't think the 2 kilobytes even shows, like you couldn't even look at the app and see that's any smaller.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The only reason you'd want it is updated, I think. So.
Sorry, I had a cat bugging at my door.
There's no time for cats in this
I know, I should have let her out first. Okay. But yeah, I couldn't believe that. I think that wasn't... You said there was an update today. I think that's what they did in this one, which I can't possibly fathom a reason to do that. Like, it's not even like keeping track of the number of items you have. It does that on the server side, which is a different issue that I'm going to get into in a second. But, I mean, literally the picture of the incense, the picture, not the number, the picture of it has to be downloaded every time you boot up the app. Hey, I can just imagine them at Niantic or Nintendo, who's ever making these decisions, going, hey guys, we're having a lot of trouble with our servers keeping up with this high demand that we really should have foreseen. So what can we do to alleviate the issue? Well, why don't we take all of the data off of the client and make them download it every time, putting more stress on the servers?
Maybe there's an issue with connecting and making the relations between the server data and the data on your phone, and that was causing server issues.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the best example would be, imagine if you went in...
Because they're communicating with each other. It's not just one way from the servers. It's
right,
back and forth.
But this would be like, okay, imagine if you went to play a match of Halo 5, and you, instead of having the map saved on your hard drive, so you just had to load it, imagine if they go, well, it's an online game, why don't we just remove the map off the hard drive and make them download it for every game? That's what this is the equivalent of. It's not just like, oh, it's keeping track of stuff. It's literally like they took the map away, and if you want to play a game, you have to download the map first. And then you can play on the map. Instead of giving everybody the map, or the icon of the Pokeball, or the Pokemon, or whatever, because it's the same, and saving server and obviously load time, because you have to download it. No, they took the map away, and you have to download the map now. Which means the matches, instead of taking, 30 seconds to load, now take 5 or 6 minutes, and then you have to wait for the person with the slowest internet speed. It doesn't make any sense.
It's a little different because it's a very small asset compared to a map.
Well, right. I'm just trying to use it as an example to get across the point of what they're doing, and it doesn't make any sense. You're right. It's a small amount of data. Pokemon GO doesn't use a lot of data, which is surprising. I thought it would use way more.
Yeah.
Like, looking at my usage, it's not a lot. So, I don't know if it's, like, the amount of data the servers have to put out as much as it is people trying to connect. And it's almost like they're constantly getting DDoSed by their own players. Like, that's what I think. It would be like if so many people were trying to log on, the system's just like, no, this is too many, stop. Instead of it being, oh, we can't handle this amount of data, this is too much, we can't agree to have this number of devices connecting to us. Because total I've used, let me see here, I can get the total amount of data I've used on it. We're at 59 megabytes.
You can't have this many pipes.
Yes. I've used 59 megabytes, which is like, what? 10 songs? Be like downloading like 10 songs. So, and that's over the course of like a month. But we'll see. I'm gonna keep playing it going forward. It's cool. I like it. I think I'm gonna end up having to spend money on it because I don't feel like I'm getting enough Pokemon. It's all fucking Rattatas and Pidgeys. That's it. There's nothing else.
I went to Traverse City and, God, I caught at least 5 new Pokemon, I think.
Yeah, I found a couple. Like I said, I got that Polygon in the mall. And I got a
Oregon?
A Polygon?
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say Poliwag.
They're all polygons.
Man, I got a Parasect, a Psyduck, Tentacool, Goldeen. I thought I had a couple more. I'm ready to evolve my Ghastly into a Haunter. I got a Golbat.
Nice. I got a couple that I want to evolve, but I'm waiting because...
I'm waiting to turn on my double XP egg and then evolve them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because that will help big time.
But we'll see. I think, obviously, it's under a little bit bigger of a microscope, or I guess smaller of a microscope, because it's
Finder.
Pokemon. Thank you, Finder. It's Pokemon, so it's a huge franchise in and of itself, has a lot of fans. Like I said before, it's free, so literally anybody with a phone that matters can get it. So you have a huge install base, and I think you're seeing... anybody that has the smallest problem now is complaining on social media. So it makes it seem like things are worse now, like, oh, this game is broken. No, but if Mario Bros. Came out and some level was broken, the only way you could tell someone is to write them a letter or call them, or speak to them in person. And you could talk to, 2 or 3 people at a time. Now you can go on a Facebook and say, the Super Mario Brothers are broken, and now anybody with an internet connection, which is a lot of people, can see it. And so I think that's also kind of making stuff seem, at least with Pokemon GO and games in general, seem to be a bit more like, oh, they don't make them like they used to. I don't know if it's quite as bad as people think.
Well, there's definitely some extent the games are more complicated, so obviously they're going to have more problems when they're released.
Right.
And they can be patched post-release, so you don't have to QA as rigorously as in decades past.
Yes, that's true too. There's a lot of like day one patches, things like that. I don't mind. I mean, you're right, it's complex, but it does seem like sometimes it's just laziness. Or, okay, we gotta push it and get it out now because this is the optimum time to release it. And then people buy it and can't play it for 2 weeks until you get the patch out that you probably should have just waited the 2 weeks to release.
Yeah. I mean, some of those problems I guess they wouldn't have seen coming, but they should have done more beta testing then, apparently. If that would have,
Yeah. And I think it's also, you don't see demos as much anymore, which kind of sucks because especially if that came out before the game did, like that can help.
I think you do, but you have to go to places like E3 and PAX to...
No, but I mean like demos
have
people
access.
Play.
Yeah, like at-home type demos.
Yeah, that's true. But like there were, pre-ordering is becoming way more popular, but that's because you're also getting stuff with it too. Like, oh, you want to get this certain character, whatever, you got to pre-order or...
Well, the thing is, for most games, a demo's not really going to sell a game.
I don't know.
It might make people not want it, though.
I don't know, because I would have never bought in Just Cause 2 if I didn't play that demo for like 3 days straight.
Yeah. Like, there's an occasional game that's sort of really fun, and you can get it across in a demo.
But isn't that, I mean, can't you...
Aren't.
But you would think like a lot of games would have certain mechanics that, okay, why don't we highlight all the good stuff and we'll leave out the bad stuff about it. Like Just Cause 2, it's kind of repetitive, but you don't really get that in the half-hour demo because you're only playing it for half an hour. It can't be boring after half an hour. It's really hard to get bored with doing something for half an hour, especially when you know you're limited. So that makes everything seem more worthwhile because you know you don't have much left, or you know exactly how much you have left. Kind of like
realize most games aren't as good as Just Cause 2.
Yeah, I mean I don't know if I'd consider it super good. I mean, it's better than a decent portion of games, but it's not like it's some super special thing.
It's not a masterpiece, but it's very fun for 30 minutes.
That's true. That's what I mean. Like, can't you figure out what your game is and go, okay, here, we'll make sure this is the demo. This is the best part of the game. This gets down the core mechanics, whatever it is. I'm trying to think of another game that's something like that could work. Like, you could do Assassin's Creed and have, one of the bigger assassination missions, and you do all the build-up and whatnot, and you get to do this cool-ass kill. And then you find out a lot of the game is just running around and opening chests and shit, which is boring. But that's not in the demo, so you won't know. Obviously, that's not going to work with an established franchise, unless it's a huge change. But for newer games...
I'm just saying, they don't have much to gain. They have a lot to lose.
Yeah, it's... I would like to see it come back, or have something like, I don't know. I wish, Microsoft and Sony, since we do most of the game on consoles, would kind of go, hey, you have to have a demo for your game, or you can't put it on our store. Because I don't really think that I couldn't just go, okay, well, I'll just cut out, 40% of my player base. Because I don't think a lot, most games, if someone's going to buy them, they buy them pretty close to launch. They don't go, oh, well, I'll wait a couple months. It happens. There are some games that people like to wait for. Telltale games are probably good for that because when they get noticeably cheaper, and then you have all the episodes right away instead of having to wait for it. Like, I know I did the Game of Thrones one, and that sucked because you would do it and you're waiting like 2 or 3 months to play the next one. And it's cool to be able to do them, go through and just do them all at once. Like, oh, I can go right to the next episode. I think we kind of segued into talking about games from Pokemon GO.
Pokemon GO is technically a game.
It is, but I mean, it was sort of a specific thing that we were talking about.
You could talk about Skyrim Remaster and how excited I am for it.
Yes, that's. I'm debating. I'm gonna wait and see, because if I buy it off Amazon, well, with you too, Paul.
I'm
if you
looking
buy
it up right now.
Within 2 weeks, you'll get 20% off.
For Prime?
Yeah. So, plus obviously you'll get it on launch day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see where I'm at with games. I should have The Witcher 3 and probably the DLC beaten by then. And see where we're at. I really want to get Rise of Iron for Destiny, because obviously we're not getting Destiny 2. So I might as well enjoy, the last year of that game to its fullest while we still can. But I know Zach won't. And I don't think Andrew will.
What game?
Destiny.
Oh, I don't have that game. I was never destined.
It's fun. I know Adrian and I kind of talked about it like yesterday or Friday, where it did get kind of repetitive. But we did also play it a lot. I mean, that's still, we haven't played it. We just got a Taken King, what was it, like a week ago? And
more than that.
2 weeks. You're right, 2 weeks ago. And
it was on sale.
Right, yeah, it was half off, a little bit more than half off. But we hadn't played it in at least a year, and it's still my most played game on my Xbox by almost 100 hours. So I mean, well, right, but you've played a lot more Master Chief Collection than I have too. But still, I'm just saying we played it a lot. Like it's not like it was just something we played every so often, which I think it's what's going to be now, especially because Zach's not around. Paul, you got like, what would it be, like $60 or $80 just lying around?
Burning a hole in your wallet.
Ashley found like 150 in her
Dude,
bag.
That's how much you would need. You wouldn't even need that much. And then you would just need to play it constantly for like a month and then catch up.
Just grind it as hard as I can.
I mean, it actually isn't too bad, to level up, because you would get a character to 25 right away, and then you just do the story missions, which we can help you with. And we can just replace Zach, because I don't think he's gonna...
Oh, I'm excited for Skyrim, but then I just had a flashback of making so many leather bracers to level up my smithing.
Oh, yeah.
I must... Between bracers and iron daggers, I must have made, at least 500 of each.
Oh, yeah.
Probably more. Just absolutely ridiculous.
It's cool because this is going to be the first time that I'll ever get to go, oh my gosh, I almost get to play a game again for the first time. And I wonder how that's actually going to... Right? Don't... People always go, oh man, what game do you wish you could go back and play for the first time? Well, guess what? Probably get to find out what it's actually like. Because actually I haven't played a lot. I don't know if I've played it, seriously in a year and a half or even 2 years. So it'll be cool to get to do stuff again. It's just, obviously it's not going to be the same. You're never going to get to go to somewhere and go, oh my god, I've never seen this before, because you probably did, on the original version. But it will be cool to see the updated graphics. I don't know if they made any changes, bug-wise. It didn't have too many bugs, at least on the 360. I know the PS3 version was not quite as stable as the 360 version because of the way the PS3's memory was set up, so I don't know if they went back and changed anything, especially now on the PS4. Hopefully that will run a little bit better. But you go from Oblivion to Skyrim, there were a lot of bugs in Oblivion, and Skyrim had bugs, but significantly less. And I don't know if they went and quashed any more, if they just said, screw it, we turned up the resolution of the assets and added a new lighting engine, and that's it.
I hope they got rid of as many glitches as they can with quests.
Yeah,
because I had to restart the game once because the main quest wouldn't complete. Whatever her name was.
Yeah, really.
Well, I don't know. I'm not through playing it on the second profile I made.
I tried with the main quest, but I, due to glitches, had to restart the game 4 times to get the Daedric Walker achievement.
And I think I might have to make a new character because I'm supposed to talk to this guy and he won't spawn.
Mine was maybe the Nightingales. Is that part of the main, or that's part of?
No, that's a different one. Yeah.
Well, I was doing that because I wanted the skeleton key, and just to keep that until, I was at the end of the game, and then I could just return it to complete the quest. But right before you get the skeleton key, you have to follow that blonde lady into the cave. But she was off in another town, and you're supposed to talk to her in the basement of this tavern, and she would not come out of that basement. And I looked it up, and it was a known glitch.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems. There's a couple houses that you miss out. It's almost like, seriously, there's one perfect way to do the game and to do the quests in the right order to make sure you get everything.
And they won't glitch out.
Yeah, I know there's one when it comes to the Dark Brotherhood where you'll get locked out of being able to buy at least one of the houses. There's that, the getting all the Daedric artifacts. That's just bugged to shit. If you look on True Achievements, it'll literally specify how bugged getting a particular Daedric artifact is, from not at all to barely possible. So yeah, I hope they at least fix some of those. But yes, it's one of those things I'm going to wait and see. I'll probably end up getting it just because I'm super hyped. And there isn't anything coming out in November that we care about, is there? There's Battlefield 1, which I don't think any of us are getting. Titanfall 2, which we're not getting. There's not a new Assassin's Creed game. Obviously, there's a new Call of Duty that we're not getting. I can't think of...
Funny way to put it.
Well, we're not. I only have Black Ops 2 and Ghost because it came free with my 360. It's not like I actively went out and bought them. I didn't even know I was getting them until I was fucking checking out with them. So it's not like I went out and bought those games. And I'm just playing through the campaigns for the achievements. And to see what kind of ridiculous shit they can make you do.
Okay, here it is, Wush. They've got Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 for the PS3. And then Kingdom Hearts 2.8 only on PS4, but they're advertising Kingdom Hearts 3 on Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah, but didn't they just start doing the pre-production on that game, so they don't even know if they're going to...
Because they decided they wanted to make 2.8. Because what they're doing...
What is it with Japanese companies?
They take chunks of the mobile game or the 3DS game. They take those and eventually put them on the console as a special in-between. They put it, in the story chronologically where they belong, but for the most part, I think.
But is there any reason why they don't port, or, I'm assuming they're going to eventually do a PC version because Square Enix is releasing a lot of their games on Steam. How hard would it be to take the PC version of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and then make it...
Well, put them all to PC then.
Yeah.
I'll still play... I want all the cutscenes, I want the updated graphics. I love Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I've easily, out of any game ever played, I've clocked the most hours in those. Even with Red Dead and Skyrim. I have clocked the most hours in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
That's because when it came out, you didn't have a girlfriend. You actually had free time.
And I only had a PS2. Well, I played Pokemon, too.
Yeah, and a lot less times.
But I love those games, and I'd love to play them all again with HD graphics and additional cutscenes, additional modes. Even if it was on PC, I would do it. I want to give them more money. But I'm not going to buy a PS3 and a PS4 in addition to my Xbox One.
Well, why would you need a PS4?
To play 2.8.
Oh.
Because it's only going to be on PS4.
I was going to say, wait, won't PS3 games work? But then somebody's like, no!
PS3 is not compatible with PS4.
Well, you can rent them off of that streaming thing, right? So
yeah. I'm
saying that as and that's something you shouldn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Microsoft's really tapered off with the PC releases. It feels like they're coming slower and slower now. So this is backwards compatibility got mentioned. I just wanted to throw that out there that it really feels like they've kind of, I don't know if they kind of got through the initial games that were super easy and now they're running into a mess. Red Dead works great. That is.
I swear it looks better.
It does. It has to. I don't know what they did.
But they did it well.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, they really did it. Paul's not kidding. It really does feel like it looks better. I even honestly thought about downloading it on my 360 and then doing a couple of videos with it, but I don't know if the difference would really be detectable without you actually playing it, because the frame rate's more stable. The VSync helps, but the frame rate overall is more stable, and that seems to happen with a lot of games. Like Gears of War, in general, seems to run better than it did in the 360. The Witcher 2 runs noticeably better than it did on the 360. Red Dead is better. I think the only game that I've noticed that's worse is Reach and Mass Effect. Although I think they've kind of fixed Mass Effect, and Reach is, to the point where you can play it now without it being a big deal. But I know when it first came out, like, if you if you wanted to play, like, Firefight or something, like, you could count the seconds in between frames. So, but that Reach really pushed the 360 to its limits. Like, that barely hung on to the 30 FPS that Bungie games said. It really did. Like, I don't know what they did. They're still great when it comes to, like, the actual programming of the stuff. I still think Bungie's top notch, but who's ever in charge making the decisions, they've sold their soul to Activision.
Definitely.
Yep. With just everything. It's too bad, because I think Destiny... I'm not saying it's not a great game, but I think it could have been, one of the defining games of this generation, and now it's just going to be that game. Oh, yeah, that was fun, but...
There's a new Mass Effect?
Well, there's going to be a Mass...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Andromeda. When is that come out?
March 27th?
Ooh. Damn.
March something, I think.
That's a month after Halo Wars 2. That's fine. But yeah, I don't see anything. Maybe I'll pick up Far Cry Primal, but I might wait, especially if I get Skyrim.
Well, yeah, you'll have Skyrim, which will be... Obviously, that's enough right there. Plus, the Steam Winter Sale will be coming before you know it.
Yep.
Black Friday, there'll be deals.
What's going to buy the Steam Winter Sale?
I might, if some of that DLC for City Skylines goes on sale.
What did I just... made me think of... you can buy... Farming Simulator 2017 on the Xbox.
How about we get our farm on more than one field in 15 or 13 first before
on the PC?
Before
we buy it for a console. When does Sun and Moon? That's coming out soon, isn't it?
Oh yeah, shit.
But I don't have a 3DS. Damn it,
dude, get one. I'd rather you get that than Skyrim or anything else.
I guess I would want one to play Dream Drop Distance and Ruby and Sapphire.
You mean Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. I honestly think
I wouldn't play. I don't know if I'd play Sun and Moon. There's just too many ridiculous Pokemon, and I don't know any of them anymore.
Oh, you'll be fine. You just match the colors up with the types, and everything works out. Or you do what I do. If you run into one for the first time, you Google it quick to figure out what type it is.
Because I tried playing Black and White, and I made it to the third gym, if that, and I just stopped. I couldn't do it.
It's weird because I think
Pokemon aren't that bad in Black and White.
It wasn't. You guys told me it was incredibly easy.
I haven't played it that much.
Black and White's such a easy game.
Their Pokemon games are supposed to be easy. The target audience is 5.
Do I still have it, or did I sell that to Zach?
You might have sold it to me.
Or you.
No, Pokemon games used to be hard.
Yeah. Right now I'm playing Soul Silver, and I'm having to grind so hard. Because I'm to the Elite Four, but I'm only level 45 or 43.
Well, that's because you didn't do it right. What you do in Pokemon is
when I played Black and White, I didn't.
Oh, I still have
X and Y.
I still have Black version. Maybe I'll start playing that again.
X and Y is super easy because you get an XP share, and what it does is it gives your main...
share all.
Yes, it gives it to all of them. But what it does is it gives your main Pokemon half, and then all the other Pokemon get a quarter. So you're actually getting 2.5 times the experience from fighting an enemy.
Nice.
Yeah, I could have gone through with the Elite.
I was over leveled after I got the XP share. I was over leveled the entire game. I didn't grind ever.
Yeah, exactly, and it was amazing. Because I think what they've kind of realized now, and I'm hoping this with Sun and Moon too, it's just there's too many to catch, so they wanted to take as little time as possible to beat the story, so you can focus on the catching the shit. So I think that's hopefully with Sun and Moon that will kind of confirm my theory if that's super easy too. And because I think X and Y is probably the best intro point since the originals. Maybe even better. Because it really, that helps a lot with, you never run into a spot where you're stuck. Because you're always getting way more XP than kind of the game is designed to give you, even though they give you their thing. They're like, hey, you can use this. But I wonder if the games are... I want to talk about, like, the rankings and ratings, excuse me. Like, the critics of games and fans' opinions compared to other media. Like, if you look at games, pretty much any game that comes out that's not terrible is like an 85 or better. Which is insane, because that's like saying the average game is an 85. Shouldn't the average be closer to the middle? I mean, how many movies come out can you go, alright, this is one of the best movies ever? It's like every game, the way it's ranked is, this is one of the best games that's ever come out. That can't possibly be true, because then it wouldn't be one of the best games that ever came out. And I know I was trying to look it up. I can't find it, but I swear I remember reading a story about there was some game company who required that you had a game, have worked on a game that had an 80 or better on Metacritic. And there's obviously rumors going around that, publishers and whatnot pay for reviews. I don't doubt it. I absolutely don't doubt it at all that people are paying them for reviews. Especially when you have games that are like, you can tell that they're not good, still getting great reviews. Or, like Polygon, not that Polygon's really a great source of this, but they're one of the bigger gaming journalists out there, had someone who I'm pretty sure has never played a video game in their life play Doom. Because it was the whole thing of they couldn't move both joysticks at once. They would aim or they would move. They wouldn't do both. Now, how can that person who's clearly never, when you're a critic, that you shouldn't be judging something for the first time you ever experienced it. Like, I wouldn't...
It's almost like getting a blind guy to review the movies.
Right, exactly. Yes, I was literally just about to say, taking a blind person and asking them what they thought of the movie. Because I mean, I'm not saying that, blind people can't enjoy movies. Because there's sound...
Yeah, really, dude.
But...
I'm sure they have a harder time.
Well, no,
but I mean, okay, it would be like asking them, what do you think is the best-looking movie? What? You can't.
You can't, visuals, obviously they can't tell that. But, like, we might not realize it while we're watching a movie, but there could be 10 minutes with zero dialogue, and they can interpret some sound effects, but they're not...
Oh, yeah.
They're not... if there's no dialogue, it's basically doing nothing for them.
Right.
That's
I was
why
about to say, but they can still
describe the movies. Narrate what's happening on the screen for blind people.
Like the Marvel movies have all been doing it, and they're enjoying them because it's kind of annoying to us because it's like Thor picked up his hammer and quickly threw it at Loki, and Loki dodged it, and it came around, and like there's somebody in the background always saying what's going on in the pictures. But
people can...
It's really awesome for them.
Disney, I know they're basically buying everybody's childhood at this point, but they're doing a pretty good job with it. Like, they're treating everything with respect. The Marvel movies that honestly might be the best franchise that we've seen. Lord of the Rings, it's a little bit different because there's 6 of them, and, The Hobbit's a little bit different than Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars is just on a whole other level. But I don't know if there's ever been a franchise that consistently has put out this many good movies. And not just like, oh, well, some of them are good. No, if Thor 2 or Iron Man 2 are the worst movies that you've made, you are doing everything right.
Oh, yeah.
Because those are, they're probably the 2 worst Marvel movies. But comparing them to most other films, they're still better. I tend to like Thor a bit more than most people, so I always rank them a little bit higher. But they don't really do anything wrong. It's just that there's a couple of things they don't do right. And that's why they kind of get dropped down lower, because otherwise...
The Thor movies is sort of get like the clash of tones with the Earth and the Asgard.
Right,
well,
and
it was the first one where you were dealing with a different world, you know.
Right, and I thought, like, because there were a lot of people, and I mean, this is such a minor complaint for a film, talking about how the camera was, you know, they had the Dutch angle going on too much on Earth. Like, that's exactly what the Dutch angle was supposed to do. Like, this is Thor. He's never experienced this before. This is weird. That's what the Dutch angle is supposed to do. This sense of weirdness, like, not everything's right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Plus, you have the obvious comedy that can come from that. You know, this drink is good, bring me another kind of stuff. It's really cheesy, but it's funny, and it works. And people just seem to not like it for whatever reason. Or not, I shouldn't say not like it.
I don't think Darcy's annoying.
She was funny. I like
yeah,
her.
that's what I
I
understand.
think she's funny.
Meow,
but-
meow.
Yeah, and I love that cheesy kind of humor. Like, it's so obvious.
And that's
But I
what
love
even
it.
makes it funnier, because they're
Right.
not, you know, they make it that obvious, and it's...
Like, that's...
Yeah.
And it's... Last night I was watching some of the Power Rangers special features. This is a huge segue off, but it's going to make sense. And they were talking about Bulk and Skull. And, I mean, you could tell exactly what was going to happen the instant they showed up on screen. There was some food that they had, cake, something, that got shown in the beginning of the episode, and you could tell Bulk is going to fall into that cake by the end of this episode, or whatever it is. And he does. Every time, without fail, he does. And it's funny every time, because it's just so... It's so simple, and it's so cheesy, and it's so telegraphed, but it's presented in such a way that you can't really get mad at it. Because it's like, oh, hi, it's like your friends. Like, you know what your friends are going to say or do or whatever, and it's still funny. That's the same thing. When something like that happens, that kind of really cheesy sort of thing, with, you know, Thor, the humor, Bulk and Skull probably made that show. I mean, really, it probably came down to the music from Power Rangers being so awesome, and Bulk and Skull that made that show more than anything else. Like, if you take one of those two away, it's probably not still going on today. That was my little segue into... Had to bring up Power Rangers. I'm waiting for the trailer. I know they're going to ruin that. But yeah, it's... I don't know, it's just... They're not bad films. I don't know why people don't like Thor. If they don't like... I mean, I guess I don't know what you could say negative about Thor. He doesn't have any bad qualities as a character. The movies are not... maybe people...
starting out, he was...
he was a dick.
Unresponsible.
But, yeah.
But he overcame that very quickly.
He was not worthy.
So was Tony. Everybody loves Iron Man.
Too bad he lost in Civil War.
Yeah, he did.
I put up air quotes.
So speaking of that, I have to... So my brother finally saw Batman vs. Superman. And he thought it was one of the best movies he's ever seen.
Did he see the longer version?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, he saw the regular one. We ragged on this movie so much. But it keeps coming up somehow, some way. Every time. Where there's nothing that by adding new footage you can fix. Because I was trying to explain to him, like, okay, one, Batman doesn't kill people. Like, okay, Batman kills people in the movie. That's very bad. That would be like Captain America being from Iran. Like, that's...
Or joining Hydra.
But, no, it wouldn't be like him joining Hydra. It would be like him agreeing with Hydra throughout the entire... Because that's, you can do some switch or whatever. I mean, it's a comic. It's hard to compare those. But it would literally be like Captain America being from whatever enemy we have right now in the 60s or whatever. In the Cold War, it would have been Russia. Imagine if he was Russian. Like, that's just so fundamentally wrong to what the character's supposed to be. Batman doesn't kill people, and he doesn't use guns. And he did both of those in the movie. And I was trying to explain to him, like, these are things that you can't do with a DC. You can't kill people with DC movies, really, because that's the whole thing. I think you said it once, Andrew, that Marvel is just more interested in DC characters who kill people, because that's kind of what they are.
sometimes kill people. Usually not.
I don't know. I mean, Iron Man has killed, looking at his talent.
He's killed a few terrorists.
Not terrorists. I mean, he's actually killed people who were qualified as, who were considered good guys. I'm actually going to try to find it right now. Some of the Wolverines killed more good guys than bad guys. So there's definitely, they don't mind knocking people off, things like that. Obviously, it's a comic, so they'll come back. But
well, no, I'm thinking things like that. When I said what I meant was, I think the best example is DC has a character called Adam, who shrinks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Marvel has Ant-Man, who shrinks and is a master thief and can control ants.
Yeah.
Although the original Ant-Man wasn't a thief, but,
Right, Hank Pym wasn't, but Scott Lang was. And I thought that was really cool that they had the sort of... They didn't use the original one, and they can kind of use them to, okay, he was doing stuff years ago, kind of stuff to give it, like a longer history.
Well, there's a lot between the two DC and Marvel that are very similar.
There's like a Falcon-like character, something or whatever, Hawk or whatever.
Hawkman?
Who can talk? Yeah. That can do basic... Yes. Yeah. I remember watching the animated show, and he can talk to animals. He's literally Falcon, but white.
Well, there's Hawkeye and Green Arrow.
Yep, those are basically...
But there's another one, too. Bumblebee and Wasp.
And then who's the green alien one that's basically like Vision? Obviously Vision's an android, but other than that...
What, the Martian Manhunter?
No, not... Yeah, thank you. Where he phase through shit?
Black.
Like, oh.
But he seems to be able to do anything, really.
So yeah, he's basically Vision. Just probably not quite as interesting.
Aquaman and Namor?
Yeah, Namor's cooler. Because Aquaman...
Namor the Submariner.
Yeah, he's cool.
DC sort of made them first, so I guess they get credit for
that. But
that.
I think what DC goes for, and it's so weird to see the movies doing the exact opposite. Like, these guys were absolutely, totally, 100% pure good. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with, enjoying something where it's just so obvious that this is the good guy, whatever. They didn't ever do anything wrong, and that's fine. People enjoy that, and they nailed it.
Man, I wouldn't... Some of these are comparing. I wouldn't say they're similar. Like, they're comparing Lex Luthor to Doctor Doom.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know.
Brainiac to Ultron. Brainiac he is a computer, but he was made on Krypton. That's kind of.
But I think it's more about what they are. Like you said, like a computer, and they probably have similar powers. They're probably both bad guys.
Surely, Green Goblin's a lot more like Lex Luthor.
Well, yeah, but Lex Luthor doesn't ever do anything.
This list
that's
compares.
where...
let me find it again.
Or what's the guy the mutant who's just like...
They compare...
It's a mastermind. Is it just mastermind?
Norman Osborn to the Joker. Which is...
Oh, come on.
Kind of. Like, in the slightest of ways. Now,
Not
like,
really,
Darkseid and Thanos, I kind of see that one.
That's the only similarity. They both laugh maniacally.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of they do real... I mean, I guess Joker has way more... I mean, he's obviously a better character than Green Goblin, at least when it comes to, plans and shit like that. But they do kind of have some, crazy odd plans stuff.
What? Wolverine, DC counterpart, Batman.
Fuck that.
This list is jacked. Never mind. I've seen better ones, though, where they...
Jesus. That's funny.
Especially when I got to learn more of the characters from playing Lego Marvel superheroes. Like, Moon Knight. Never heard of him.
Moon Knight's pretty cool.
Oh, Zatanna to Scarlet Witch.
Batman.
That one kind of makes sense. Zatanna's in DC. She's basically a witch. Like, with powers like
Scarlet Witch?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, like Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, pretty similar. Dr. Fate to Doctor Strange. No.
What?
It's just because they have doctor in their name.
See, that's so
it's
such a superficial, thing. Such a superficial way to rank.
Hank Pym to Adam.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
Although they probably should have said Ant-Man, because I don't know unless Adam's like a super genius.
Yeah, DC has a Hawkman.
Good God. Are you even trying? I mean, I guess when your main character is called Superman and he has basically every single superpower possible, originality is not something that you're really too worried about.
DC has a Plastic Man. Elongated Man.
That's Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, yep.
Well, that makes sense. My God, what a name.
This was another one. Magneto and Dr. Polaris. There we go. Couldn't talk. Dr. Polaris and Magneto.
Have a cool name.
Yeah, I mean, his name makes sense, but still.
But Magneto's still cooler.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider and the Atomic Skull.
Why? Because they're on fire?
I guess both their skulls are on fire. Catwoman and Black Cat. Yeah, there's some that are just
Black Cat.
Ridiculous.
Black Panther. We got way off topic.
Yeah.
I just realized. That's fine. Whatever. Just talk
matter.
about whatever. That's cool. But going back to kind of what started this with the game rankings, like it just, I don't know if it's because it's a new media and people don't really know how things are supposed to be. It's always bugged me that a game comes out and as long as it's a AAA game, this would be basically the equivalent to your summer blockbuster, that the game is guaranteed to be an 85. I can go on, Rotten Tomatoes or even IMDb, and I bet you I could find maybe 2 movies this whole year that got above an 80. And I bet you they're Finding Dory and Civil War. And I can't think of any other movie that would be that unequivocally good to deserve a ranking that high.
What was that one movie? With the rabbit and she wants to be anything.
Oh, Zootopia?
Yeah. That got a high score.
Was that
Let me
this
see.
year?
Yes. That was like April, wasn't it? Or no, that was, yeah. Let me see. I'll go on Rotten Tomatoes, but still.
Yeah,
I mean, this is, and there's a lot more movies that come out than games.
Star Trek Beyond's down to 83, which is still, I mean, anything
That's good.
pretty much in the 70s, definitely
It's
the
good.
80s is an excellent movie.
But remember, this is like, think about what go 85 and above. I mean, how many movies do that? Let's see here.
I'm going just straight to...
Well, while you're thinking, here's my theory. A lot of game reviews before the internet became really big were in magazines that were like officially affiliated with the developers or publishers.
Right, yep.
So obviously, they're going to be a little more charitable.
Right, to their own games. But and
then other people start getting into the industry of, or not industry, but games journalism. Outsiders got into it, but the scores are they're already inflated. So what are they going to do? They got to.
But I
remember-
understand,
same
but
level.
X-Play did it, and they were fine. X-Play was able to do it where, they give a game that was average 2 or 3 out of 5, which would indicate a game that average.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
but the people who did that are they have a specific beef with the way the scores are inflated. Most people don't really care.
But I do too, and I think it's going to become a problem later. I mean, we're slowly seeing gaming become, this normal thing that everybody does, and it's going to become even more normal. I guess I don't know what but there's probably a term for it where it becomes more ingrained in the culture. I mean, I can literally remember when I was in high school getting made fun of because I played video games. Can you imagine?
I remember
getting
making
made
fun of you.
No, you don't.
No.
Well, yeah.
Just
because I
deer,
punched a deer in
moron.
Oblivion. But I did. I punched the deer.
Yeah, but you could have said it was in a video game and wouldn't have thought you're so damn weird. Just say, I was playing Oblivion. Instead, you're like, no, I went out into the actual woods.
I don't think I did
in
that.
real life.
I don't think I did that.
IRL.
I'm not IRL.
I don't even think that was an acronym when we were in school.
It is.
No, when we were in high school.
Yeah, no,
that's
just
kind of like the past 3 years or something. I don't
4 years.
I don't pay too much attention.
But IRL is a contrast to online.
Right.
Like in a game.
Right. I think it's become more synonymous to that. Most of your communication is done. I mean, that's basically how we communicate is on Xbox Live or Skype. We get in person sometimes, but we're all spread out now, so it's really hard.
Yeah.
You gotta basically plan ahead to do something like that. So
you
that
gotta
makes
have a podcast just to talk to each other.
Or, go fucking camping and not be around. But anyways. But I think it's going to become a problem as we get going forward here, maybe the next 15, 20 years, the next generation of people grow up. And we see, some older people, not be around anymore, who are still kind of dictating things. Where you're going to see games where it's either the scores are going to stay this inflated and you're going to see several games come out that are in the hundreds every year, because you're going to start to see more and more and more and more games, because it's going to get cheaper and cheaper and easier to make a good-looking game. Just like with movies, it's getting cheaper and cheaper all the time to make a... I mean, you can easily film a movie in 4K for, you can get, like, what, a $500 camera? Not that expensive, really. $500 for a hobby for years is not a lot of money to spend. And you're going to see stuff like that. It's going to get cheaper to make games. You're going to get better animation tools, because the biggest thing would be, higher res textures, voice acting, things like that. But that's always going to end up getting cheaper. And then you're going to start to see this problem where the highest you can give something is 100, but games were almost averaging that 20 years ago. But clearly, this game coming out, whatever it is significantly better than those games. What are we going to do? And so that's why I would like to see things slowly start to come down. Like, if the goddamn game is average, it's a 5 out of 10, or 50 out of 100, or 500 out of 1,000, whatever you want to rate it on. But if it's average, rated average, don't go, well, it's an average game, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. No, that's a superior game. That's a pinnacle of what games are supposed to be.
8.5 out of 10. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That sums it up perfectly. Like, I just can't believe that. What's a 10? What's a
Red Dead?
Red Dead? No, I'm talking like a 10 out of 100, sorry.
Oh.
What's a 1 out of 10? That would be a movie like... I don't know if I own a movie that bad, but I can think of movies that would be,
Definitely, I would watch a 1 out of a 10 before I watch Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, again.
Mario Bros. Movie?
Oh, God.
That one
awful.
But that almost has, like, the cheese factor going for it.
So bad it's good.
The cheese is so bad, it's still bad. Like...
Yeah, really.
In no way is that movie good. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, just looking around...
The appeal of watching that is just to make fun of how bad it is.
The actors didn't even like acting in the movie. They hated it. They even drank for some of the movie. That's how bad it was.
Jason Bourne has a 57.
I just saw that.
That means the movie's, average. And imagine if a game got a 57. I can't imagine a game. That would be something like a game that doesn't... When the Master Chief Collection didn't even work at launch, it was still like a 7.5 out of 10. The game doesn't even work. Like, imagine if the movie was literally, like, they sent the movie to the theaters, and then people watching go, oh my god, we didn't send the second half. And people were still calling it, like, a damn good movie. No, it doesn't even work. Civil War is down to 90% of Rotten Tomatoes, and that's, probably one of the better films in the last couple of years. So that's huge. That's like a slightly better than average video game. Zootopia's at 98. Holy fuck. Wow.
Yeah, I think like the highest rated video games on Metacritic are 98.
But there's a lot more of them than there would be for movies, I bet.
No, there's only like a few. And most of them are Nintendo games.
I don't know.
Like Ocarina of Time and Super Mario Galaxy.
So am I wrong then? Are game ratings not inflated?
No, they are.
I guess there's more movies that come out too. So you would expect there to be more, 90 movies every year because there's just more films overall. So I guess if you scaled it back to how many games there actually are. It bugs me, and I'd like to see it normalized because like it's going to become a problem. Like, how do you rank these games? You know, you can go back and say, oh, this movie that came out 50 years ago. You can compare it to today's movies. It's going to be really it's going to be hard with video games anyways because they change so much. And it's.
I'll get dropped from the call.
No, I'm here.
He's here. It's just his phone going off. It's probably his girlfriend trying to call him from the same room.
No, I was texting.
Texting your girlfriend to call her?
To go make me some dinner. How about that?
It's fucking 9:45.
I think I'm going to eat. I don't have to work till like 3 tomorrow.
Oh. Finding Dory's at 94. But again, that's...
I just was looking at it and I saw Sausage Party's at 100%, but it's only got 8 reviews so far.
Yeah, you always gotta wait for a bit because one review comes out and because remember, Rotten Tomatoes this is critics who liked it.
Yeah.
So I think they have to rate it like a 66 out of 10, and that counts as like a like. So if the movie is slightly better than average, that counts as a like.
Well, it says right here, average rating 6.5 out of 10.
Right, exactly. But it can still have a super high, fresh rating because most of the critics thought it was at least an average movie.
Like the Ghostbusters movie.
Right.
73%.
Right. Yeah, but I bet you the audience score is only 58, so, and that's always going to end up being inflated a little bit because you're always going to enjoy a movie more right after you watched it, and that's where they get that from.
You know what looks pretty good is that, what is it, Legend of Kubo or something?
No, it doesn't.
No, I don't even know what...
Have you seen the same trailer as me?
I saw the trailer at Star Trek. No.
Yeah, the animation looks so bad.
But I don't even know what the story is. Like, they have this power to do everything? That sounds like Superman with a ukulele. I don't see...
well, I thought...
Now, the art direction looks kind of good, I guess, but... Especially with those twin villain witches.
But, you know what? I don't think anyone's ever saw a movie because it had really great art direction, except for...
Gravity.
Yeah, that wasn't art direction. That was just absolutely a assault on senses.
Technical achievement.
Yeah. Same thing with Avatar. I mean, I know the story is bare bones, but... God,
yeah, and it's lengthy.
It's still the... But I love that. And I don't understand. This is getting way off on a segue again. But... That's fine, we do that. We should call this, like, segues a week, because there's so many of them. Instead of Geeks a Week, call it Geeks Segwaying, and then the intro could just be us on segways.
What were we talking about?
Where were we driving again? Oh, shoot, what was I going to say?
It's not about Avatar?
Avatar... Hold on a minute. God damn it.
The story's bare bones, but you like it that way?
He likes it bare bones. God damn it. Alright, we'll talk about something else and I'll remember.
I like... Stories that have to be original. Be good.
Right.
You just have to tell it well.
And this, now that we've gone into movies, this seems like a really off year for sort of your summer blockbusters. I'll throw Batman vs. Superman in there even though it came out in March. That makes it one of the worst years ever. But the big ones we've had are Zootopia, which was a surprise hit. Civil War, which was as good as expected, which means it was amazing. I have yet to see Finding Dory, but everybody's loving that. And then The Jungle Book was very good.
It's kind of surprised at that, actually.
Yes.
I thought coming up now is Pete's Dragon.
Oh, I thought that was fucking Tarzan when I saw the first trailer.
I liked that show when I was a kid. I watched that VHS over and over.
That's a show? I didn't know that.
Oh no, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Or a movie, whatever.
It's a Disney movie from...
But it just seems like this has been a really
80s.
off year. I guess last year you did have 2 Marvel movies, so that's kind of cheating.
Actually...
Well, we still get a Marvel movie this year.
It seems like
in November.
The only one who's making good movies this year is Disney.
Yeah. And it was last year, it was Universal that made all that money because we had... No, Godzilla was 2014, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had Jurassic World, which was awesome. Thought that movie was amazing. Obviously, we had Avengers and Ant-Man. There was Fast and Furious, which, I mean, I don't think is a great movie, but it's not like it's bad.
Makes money.
Right, exactly. And then what were the other big ones that came out last year? I know, it feels like there's less to be hype about. Oh, yeah, there was The Martian. That was really good. That came out in October, but still kind of there. And then, what else was there?
What, 2015?
Yeah.
Mad Max?
Mad Max, that was another good... That one was awesome.
Is that Universal?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm just talking movies in general. It just seems like this year's
The
really...
Martian.
The Martian. This year's is kind of slow. Wasn't there a Transformers movie last
Was
summer?
that last year?
No, that was 2 years ago.
Obviously Star Wars.
Yeah, but that wasn't summer. But I guess if you look at the year as a whole, yeah. I don't know, just it feels like this summer there wasn't a lot to be hype about aside from Civil War, and I'm not hyped for Suicide Squad anymore because of Batman vs Superman.
I'm still gonna see Suicide Squad, but I don't know.
I'm allergic to the bullshit you're spouting.
It's almost getting too much hype now. You can buy hair dye, and they're advertising it. You get a 2-pack of Harley Quinn's ponytails, the exact colors, and just I went to Hot Topic and FYE today. It is just 100% Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and I wonder if that was
like the movie sort of designed for Hot Topic.
It does.
Well,
it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? The problem is, though, I think the movie is going to end up being very good. I'm not going to go see it.
You're still tasting, still spitting up some.
The problem is, like, when I get into something, I go, book series, movie series, TV show, whatever. Assuming it's at least good, I'm going to want to go through and see all of it. I don't stop in the middle of a TV show because there's a bad episode or, a movie series if there's a couple.
Well,
I'm not going to stop.
Now, but Suicide Squad, even though it's part of the same universe, I don't see them being in, like, the Justice League or really...
But Batman's in that movie.
Yes,
Ben Affleck's in that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's, they're going to do some kind of crossover. It's just,
maybe
maybe
they'll have a moment where the Joker's on the laptop and he sees, like, Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
And it's just like a 5-minute sequence of double-clicking on the clips and then waiting for them to load. That way, anyways. I stop this one, Hammer.
Well, and then I know you refused to watch it, but I watched the trailer for the Justice League, and
I watched it,
and it's pretty much that laptop scene again. It's just showing every character, like, giving away, like, their costumes and everything, 100%. And the movie still has another year and a half?
Yeah, doesn't it come out next
fall? Maybe. I guess
I'm sure it's coming out in the summer. But I wonder if this marketing was planned, assuming Batman vs Superman made the money people thought it was going to and was good. Would this have been as heavily advertised, or are they trying to make up for some lost revenue? Because they were expecting Avengers-like numbers, and they got, like, Iron Man 1 type numbers. Nothing to scoff at, but, it made, like 870 million, and the prediction was like 1.3 or 1.4 billion. So it got a little bit over half of its expected gross, which is pretty bad. It still made money just, because of the initial sales. It feels like if I go and do that, I would have seen through, because I liked Man of Steel. Obviously, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, we don't need to talk about. But if I see this one, I go, well, I might as well just watch them all now. And that means I'm going to be spending, $10, $12 once or twice a year on DC movies, because I'm kind of invested in the universe now, and I can't really not do it.
That's what they want.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to go see it. That's why I said it's got to be basically an amazing film. But I saw the Justice League trailer, and I'm not excited at all.
Justice League comes out November of 2017.
Wow, so they're going to take their time with it.
But I just saw what's his name? James.
They came out with a trailer for a year and a half from now. Oh my God! Has that ever happened?
J.K. Simmons, who played in Spider-Man, is going to play in this movie.
Has that ever happened before?
Well, I thought it was dumb. They released a trailer for that movie. They released a trailer for Wonder Woman.
But Wonder Woman comes out next spring.
But they're giving it all. To me, that's just stupid. It's pointless.
And Wonder Woman looks like it might be okay too. But again, I'm probably not going to go see it.
Wonder Woman was probably my favorite part of. Just because she seems like a badass.
She does, and I think there's. She doesn't have enough screen time. It's weird because she's on the front of the fucking Blu-ray cover. Although that's probably because people
Superman.
Like her. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's here. Yeah, you want her, but movie's not even really about Batman and Superman either. So.
That's a good point.
So, don't give a fuck.
But no, unless it's one of the best films ever and it gets high 90s on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm not gonna. Hey, I just found out that there's a manga for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Of course there's a manga for Pokemon.
But that doesn't even look like Ash. Or if...
There's a manga for everything.
Ash,
that is not true. Do you want to know why that's not true? There is not a manga for Sentai. As much as I wish there was. Or if we're Zach and his girlfriend, a manga. Oh man, every time he says that, it's I want to punch him so hard.
Wasn't Caleb confusing? Or it might have been Zach. He's like a GIF or a GIF or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I saw a video of this guy, and it was the perfect this. If you don't know how to say it, this should drill it into your head. Oh,
but
a lot of people think it's GIF.
But I can understand mispronouncing it once and then someone corrects you. And then you don't do it again. You don't say it wrong again. You say it right.
Yeah, as soon as you learn.
Oh, they've read more than me.
A lot of people think that GIF is wrong and GIF is right. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not talking about that. Fuck that. I'm talking about there's an actual official way to say the word manga. I would love for them to go to some kind of convention and say manga because they would be dead.
And then they're like, what, just because you guys are a bunch of webs?
Weebs.
Yeah, then he would definitely he'd be gone.
Well, you guys are just a bunch of webs. I've read manga too. I can imagine him getting fucking quartered. Oh my God, a bunch of webs. I was like, Paul, that's not right. Oh, I get it now. Oh. Well, a weeb is the derogatory term, a term that a person themselves are probably used to describe them would be an otaku. But I don't know how you can really mispronounce that. You either get it or you don't.
Otaku.
What do I want to do?
That can be offensive too. To a, race, I guess.
Well, he does like Taco Bell, so.
But the thing about a GIF or a GIF, God, Jesus,
GIF.
Is it GIF? No, it's a GIF, isn't it?
No, it's GIF.
Alright.
No.
GIF, if you care about the way the persons who designed the format.
Well, what does it stand for? Graphics?
Graphical image format.
Image format.
You know what's weird, though? Because before that whole, kind of debate, whatever you want to call it, came out a few years ago, I still always said GIF. It just, that always, probably because it's easier to say than GIF. Because, GIF is really hard. It's long and hard.
You're thinking of the word. What do you think of, girth?
Yeah. We should get Rocket League sometime when that goes on sale.
That does look fun, but damn it, we need to play Borderlands.
It's only $20.
I know. Maybe we should just drop Zach from everything we do and just go with us three.
Yeah.
Except for Destiny. Paul, maybe you can buy it.
No.
Dude.
I think the only game I'm buying in the near future is going to be Skyrim. That's it. I'm having a hell of a time enjoying myself replaying Red Dead again. I think this is my third time now.
Well, I don't know why you didn't just port over your save. I guess if you want to enjoy it again,
I do want to port over my online.
That should automatically because it's not.
I'll try it again.
Oh, it didn't?
Because I've already, passed into Legend before. I don't want to waste all that. Unless... But I thought I leveled up to, at least the teens. This had me at level 1. Because I guess I would have all the same things, but...
But I know you had to level up because I remember when you passed into Legend, that was back, when we played it. And by played, I mean we played Liar's Dice. And did a couple that one canyon one or whatever it was called.
Pike's Basin.
Yeah, thank you. Oh!
Because, I think I was in the teens.
Oh, I can look at just crap movies. Let's see what they're bad.
Oh, what'd you want me to do? I need to sign up with True Achievements?
Yeah, so we can keep track of your
laugh at me
in a month. I would like to see Microsoft incorporate something like that actually into the system. I know they show the amount you've got every 30 days, except for the fact that it takes 2 days to update. But to have something like, oh, so-and-so is on a 10-day achievement streak, or so-and-so has gotten 15 achievements in the last 5 days, better catch up or they're going to pass you. It encourages people to play more games and therefore buy more
games.
I would like someone to go, I guess it'd be basically impossible, but to see how much extra revenue has been generated just from achievements. People buying the DLC for the achievements or buying a game, especially easy games like Telltale games, things like that with easy achievements, just to get the gamer score up. I'd really like to see it's increased Xbox's revenue by 3% just by virtue of the fact that the achievement system exists.
That'd be very hard to quantify.
It would. That's why I was like, that's probably never going to happen. I mean, I guess if they did surveys and stuff, but they would have had to do it from the beginning. I mean, I'm thinking about games that launch with the system, like the Madden game, and you got a 100-point achievement for scoring a touch. You could play one game and get all the achievements, I think. Because they were score a touchdown, get a first down, sack the quarterback. That's all shit that happens all the time. And it's just 100-something gamer score.
Well, it's like that Naruto game where you get all the gamer score in a minute?
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people... But that sounds like something you would rent more than you would buy.
Yeah.
I would like to go into GameStop and get Madden NFL 6 and just play one game and okay, that cost me $1, but I got 1,000 gamer score out of it. But then that makes me I'm being exacted what Microsoft wants, and that's not good. Damn it. I don't want to read the Pokemon manga.
I do. I want to read the Kingdom Hearts manga.
Is there a Final Fantasy manga? This is getting into super nerdy shit, but is there? Andrew, you would know.
I'd never looked at that.
Because they're coming out with a movie for Final Fantasy 15, and it's got Sean Bean and Lena Headey in it from Game of Thrones. Which, by the way, look at this segue. This is amazing. This is a segue inside of a segue. That's like a Deadpool segue.
That's 16 segues.
HBO's announced that there will be 2 more seasons of Game of Thrones.
Nice.
So, 1, that's good because I didn't think they could wrap it up.
Might there be 3?
No, they've said 2 and that's it. Actually,
is it final that there's going to be 2, or there's going to be at least 2?
No, it's done at 2. I think this was from what I'm getting. I mean, this other than the official word on 8, they haven't said how they came to that number. D&D, David and Dan, the creators of the show, wanted it to be 1 more season, and which it could be done. You'd have to shit would happen really fast, but it could be done, I think. And the studio executive, whatever, was hoping for something like 10. So it sounds like 8 was a bit of a compromise to make sure the story didn't get padded with shit. Which, I mean, if you think about it, like, all the stuff that happens in Game of Thrones, like, there's not a lot of filler. You know, there's not a lot of stuff that you can cut out and still tell the same story, especially when it comes to character development. I mean, you can go, even Lost, you can go through and there's some stuff you can cut and still everything works out basically the same. They're not really going to be able to do that with Game of Thrones. So I'm wondering then if they're not, because they're not going to let that cash cow die, if they won't then do like a sidequel. I don't know if they'll do a sequel. I mean, they got Robert's Rebellion, which people are dying to see. I would spend lots of money to see a Robert's Rebellion on the screen, even if it's just a season or two. Like, there's so much content there. I was actually thinking they could do something like have like a maester teaching someone history, but then they could use that to go back to all these important stuff. Like, oh yes, we're going to talk about this thing, and just that episode, and then you just talk about this thing, and the actual events themselves don't need to connect, because they're connected by the fact that it's, you know, people learning about this. It's really hard to base a show off of that, because what are you going to develop? You know, what are the characters going to do aside from listen? But at least that's a potential option to make sure that they get all this stuff, because there's a rich history for that content. So that's a double segue. We should do that like once. Just do a segue inside of a segue. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, is there any Final Fantasy manga? And I'm like, oh wait, because I was watching something on YouTube and there was an ad, and I'm like, God dang it, that sounds like Sean Bean talking. And then so I just kept listening for a minute, like 30 seconds, and then I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like Cersei, Lena Headey. And I looked, and it was. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So, like, you know, gives me a little more hope that it'll be good. And then they got Aaron Paul from
Breaking Bad
in there, too. I guess there isn't, because I looked up books for... Whoa. Oh, that's Final Fantasy Type 0. The only thing I can find for Final Fantasy books are strategy guides and art books, which actually would be kind of cool, the art books. Oh, that kind of sucks, though.
Oh.
So I've seen all the Final Fantasy movies, all 2 of them. Pretty good. So this is probably pretty good, right?
But doesn't Final Fantasy like 15 take place inside of the same world as 13? Because
it looked like visually it looked like an
they
awesome
call it
movie.
Fabula Nova Chrysalis.
Yeah.
Setting.
That was, oh my God, that was, I mean, step aside Avatar, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Oh my God.
Okay, real quick here. You want to know my greatest achievement streak?
What was it, 5 days?
December 23rd, 2014. 11 days. How many achievements did I get in those 11 days?
12.
Try again.
15.
14.
65.
What? Was it Red Dead?
It's, yes. Because we got Red Dead in November. Next one was September 14th of 2015. 8 days. How many achievements in those 8 days?
37.
50.
51.
Paul, I can't find you on here.
I put that you referred me.
Oh, wait, I got a message. Oh, it's you!
What's up?
Oh, I can block you or accept. So thank you for listening. This has been Whoosh with the Geeks a Week podcast.
Paul? That's me.
And Andrew.
Who's you?
That's me. I'm Andrew.
Well, I don't know. It just confuses me because you say I've been Whoosh, but I have been Paul, and I'm still Paul, and will continue to be Paul.
Now you're a sovereign citizen.
I'm a person's. I'm not a person's. I'm a human.
I'm an individual. A person is a legal fiction.
God, what idiots.